Yay. Okay, I hear my cuckoo clock going off that my husband repaired and has working. So I think that calls it at 5 o'clock. Um, so yeah, welcome to this session of Zoom Tunes, as I'm calling it. Um, just bear in mind that we are recording this session. And I will provide a link to the recording a couple of days after, later in the week. It just takes a little time to get that recording configured. If you are not comfortable with your name and likeness in a recording that's available to others, please let me know, and I will try to do something about that. If you're comfortable, it's helpful to me to just know where people are from. So if you wanted to put in the chat window where you are either now or where you come from, that would be great. And also please note that aside from times like this when we're chatting together, it's helpful for people to leave their microphones muted. So especially when I'm trying to play or demonstrate something, if you're also playing at the same time, it can be difficult to hear. So if you want to take a moment now to mute, that would be great. Oh, Esther, you're in Massachusetts, just a little ways from us. I'm in Vermont, in case anyone is interested, southern Vermont. We have Ohio, North Carolina, Tulsa, nice, Tennessee, Philadelphia, nice. A wide range of places. That's great. Great to see. All right, so I think we're going to get started. I always like to start with a tuning check. It's not strictly necessary, but it does help some people. But first, I'm just going to point out, if you use a tuner like this, there's a calibration button down here, and there's a couple of arrow buttons, and it's actually really easy to get your tuner uncalibrated correctly. So I don't know if you can see it, but mine's calibrated to 440, which is what it needs to be. So if you have that type of tuner, be aware that you want to calibrate it to 440 for the Mountain Dulcimer. Different instruments use a different calibration for their tunings. Fiddles tend to be 441 for some reason that I'm not quite sure of. All right, I'm going to switch my camera. So hopefully you can see my dulcimer. I put my tuner right on the dulcimer. That's my bass string. Hopefully people can hear that. Thumbs up if you can hear it well. Perfect. Middle string. That's an A for the middle string. And melody, the string closest to me. People sounding good? Thumbs up. Cool. It's not strictly necessary to do that, but it does. If your dulcimer is a lot off of mine, when you're playing along, it will sound a little odd to you. So that's why get it as close as you can, and that's helpful. So I like to start with a few just introductory tunes to get us started. So I'm going to share my screen because I know that for some people who have joined on iPads, it's helpful to see the music on the screen. So I'm just sharing my screen now and switching over to this. So hopefully people can see Cripple Creek up on the screen. And you don't need to see me down there. Thumbs up if you got Cripple Creek. Okay. Yay! So Cripple Creek is a very common dulcimer tune. It's based on some fiddle tune, an old fiddle tune. And it's frequently played at dulcimer festivals and jams, so it's a great tune to learn as a dulcimer player. It's a lot of fun to play. I'm going to start in, unless anyone has any questions. If you have a question before we start, now's a chance to unmute and ask. Okay, hearing none, I'm going to start playing. I'm going to play really slowly. This is in 4/4 time, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we start playing. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's repeated. That's the basic tune. I messed up a little bit on the timing there. It's hard to do the play. Well, so if I pin me, I can do it this way. Is that, so Neva asked if we could, I hope I'm saying your name right, if I could show me playing as well as the music. Is this better? Can folks see me playing this way? So I'd like to do that again. It's really hard for me to see if people have questions. So if you have questions, it's important to unmute and call those out. I think also, if you raise your hand, may in the chat window, that may actually work too. But all right. One of the things I wanted to point out about this song is this is a great song to practice in and out strumming on. So the first note is a 7. It's a D. And then you have 2 more 7s. Those are 8th notes. So the first is a quarter, and then you're down to 4. So on those 8th notes, it's a nice place to practice your in and out strumming. Usually, as a dulcimer player, you get used to strumming in one direction, and that's your dominant direction. So I'm dominant going out, but it is a good idea to try and get into the habit of using both directions. So I'm going to start again, and again count in really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. section again. How's that feeling for people? I gotta unpin myself so I can see. Where is that? Exit. Let me exit full screen. Hello, view. There, maybe I can see more people. How does that feel for people? Would it be helpful if I stopped the share for a second so that you can see the strumming of that? Thumbs up if you'd rather see the strumming for that without the screen share on. Michelle, yep. Okay. All right, so let's try to do it that way once. Okay. So again, sorry, I want to set this up so I can see the music. Whoops. I don't want to share it. I just want that application open and I want that to go away. Okay. So what I was talking about is on the quarter note, the first note is a 7, and that's a quarter note. So you can just strum out on it. And then for the next 2 notes, they're 8th notes, so you can strum out and strum back in very quickly. Like that. People see that? And so what I'm suggesting is that for all of the 8th notes, it's a good idea to get into the habit of doing the in and out strumming. A lot of beginning players just like to strum out or just like to strum in, and it's important to develop that skill. So I'll do this once with my dulcimer showing. That'll be on the one more time. We'll play it one more time with my dulcimer showing, and that will be good for the recording. So again, I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry. I totally messed that up. Doing 2 things at once. All right, let me start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Do over. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope that helps. Thumbs up if you think that went okay, even though I blew it several times to begin with. Good, okay. That's one of the things about playing the dulcimer that's really important to recognize, is that if you're thinking about something else and then you start trying to play your instrument, it's not going to go well, right? So that's exactly what happened in that case. I'm going to just switch my camera around. Yeah, so I was thinking about one thing and then I started trying to play my dulcimer. Never goes well. But that happens for everyone. So cool. All right, so the next tune I was thinking about playing on our agenda is Black Mountain Rag. This is another tune that comes from the fiddle tradition. It's a common dulcimer tune at a lot of festivals. It's another great tune to learn. Does anyone, before I go on, does anyone have any questions or concerns or issues? Nope. Seeing none, we're going to move on. And I will, excuse me again, I'm going to share my screen so that people can see the music for a while, and then I'll play one with it just showing my dulcimer. Okay, let's go back to the Zoom and share. Hello, share screen. Start. Okay, so hopefully we're gonna go there. Yeah, and that needs to go away so I can actually see the music. And I'm gonna change my video to my dulcimer. Okay, so this is in 4/4 timing too. So again, I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll come in. This tune, as a reminder, if you're not familiar, this actually has 3 different parts instead of 2. So we repeat the first line twice, and then we play the second line twice, and then we play the last 3 lines through once. All right, so very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. 2. 2. Second line. Second line again. Third line. Questions? Was that good for people? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay, seeing some thumbs. So, just, I hadn't mentioned this before, but in a lot of this tab, if you're just beginning, very, very new to playing, you can play just the melody line, which is the lowest line on the tab. So it would be 2, 5, 4, 5, 2, 5, 4, 2, 5, 4, 5, 2, 1, 0. And it's nice because this tune sort of starts that way, and then later on it gets into some chords. But if you don't have to play the chords when you're just starting out, you can just play that melody line, which is the lowest line on the tab. That's the string closest to you. All right, shall we play this again? Another time? Thumbs up, down. Okay, lots of thumbs up. Good. All right. Anyone up for a little faster or the same speed? Faster, thumbs up. No? Same speed. Okay, I got you. I'm with you there. All right. Again, I count into 4. We play the first line twice, we play the second line twice, and then the following 3 lines once. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, second line, second line again, third line, all right. So I'm going to turn off that share for now. Hold on. Come on. Thank you. Wish there was an easier way to do that. And so you can hopefully see my dulcimer in the recording. I wonder if I now pin myself. I wish that, yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, well, okay. So now you can see me play it from the dulcimer perspective. All right. So again, I'm going to count into 4. Are people still want me to go at that speed or slightly faster, slower? Same speed, Michelle, right? Okay, I got you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line. Third line. Sorry about that. All right, how does that feel to folks? Gonna switch my camera back around, hopefully. Yay, there you go. Thumbs up, okay? I was hearing a weird feedback that time. Did you guys hear a weird feedback on that at all? No? Okay. Because kind of threw me a couple of times when I was playing that. I was like, oh, what's that weird feedback? All right. So what time are we at? 5:25. Okay, so we have the Four Marys, which is another fun tune to learn. It has a very kind of dark undertone to the lyrics. There are like 99 verses to the Four Marys. But it's a great tune to learn. It has some fun stuff to do in it. Okay, how's it feeling for people to see the music on the screen? Is that helpful to people? Yes. Okay, I'm getting lots of thumbs up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that share screen thing again. Okay, just takes a moment to click in. There we go. All right, and now we bring up the Four Marys. Okay. This is a very old song. Reportedly came from Mary Queen of Scots' time, but there's also lots of other research into it. I like to play this song finger picking style. Kind of like that. But we're not going to do that this time. We're just going to play it the way we've been playing it, and we'll play it slow again. But again, it's just a really pretty song. There's more chords in this song than there have been in the other songs. If you're not comfortable with the chords, you can just play the melody line, which again is the lowest number of the tab. So it's 0, 2, 1, 5, and just the 5, 4. If you're comfortable trying a chord or two, you can do 3 on the melody and 5. So you can do a half chord and not do the whole thing. Oh, so I can see you play. Thank you, Kathy, for letting me know that my camera wasn't set correctly. Oh, and one more. There we go. Yay. So if anything like that happens and you need to catch my attention, you can go ahead and unmute and yell out too. Because sometimes I can't see hands raised on the screen or the chat window. But all right. So this is a tune in 3/4 time. That's commonly referred to waltz time. So there's 3 beats per measure. So in this case, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we come in because that first measure is called a pickup measure with 1 beat in it. There are no repeats in this song. We play it straight through. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that's essentially how the song goes. It's a very sweet song. There is a pretty large jump between the end of line 2 to the beginning of line 3. So when you have those kinds of big jumps, it's sometimes helpful to practice them in isolation. And in this case, I'm not playing the chord of 1, 0, 4. because there's too much of a jump at that point, right? So I'm just going to play the 4, and then with my thumb, hopefully you can see a little bit, I'm just going to rest it down on the 7 and bring up the 5, 5, 7. All right, so that's a transition. I call them tricky transitions that it's helpful to practice over and over again so that you can get that big jump in there with the way your fingers want to move.
Can we see you? We cannot. I can't see your dulcimer and your finger.
Sure, I can do that with this. I can turn off the share. Okay, how's that? Can you see my dulcimer better now? I'm not sure who mentioned that, but can you see my dulcimer better now? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, great. Thank you. Okay, I gotta get out of that. All right. Sorry. So, just got all these messages on my iPad about screen sharing is stopped. All right. So, again, I'm not doing this major jump from the 1, 0, 4. That's the chord in the last measure of the second line. It's a pretty hard jump to do that. It's possible, and it's something that you need. Often it's a good idea to practice those very tricky transitions. But you can also just do the 4. In this sense, I'm using 4 with my ring finger, and then I'm just going to drop my thumb on the 7 and drop my index and middle finger on the 5, 5. And usually you don't want, what you don't want to do is have, like, if you hear, you don't want to pick up your 4, because that stops that string from ringing, you see, right? So you kind of want to leave the 4 on there and drop the 7 down. And that smooths out that transition for people. And it just takes some practice. Right? Questions about that transition? And again, if you're just starting out, just play the melody. It's difficult enough to learn how the tune goes. To try and worry about the chords at the beginning. If you're just learning this tune for the first time, or if you're just beginning to play, focus on just learning the melody and getting that transition from the 4, 7, 6.5. That's perfectly fine. Make sense? All right, shall I play this song one time with my dulcimer view so you can see that? All right, we're going to play again. It's a count in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we play, and I go straight through with no repeats. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. How'd that feel for people? Okay. All right, clapping. Yay, like that. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's the Four Marys. Again, it's a very popular dulcimer song, played a lot of places. And there's a lot you can do with it. You can finger pick it. You can flat pick it. You can do a lot of stuff with that song. It's most important to get the tune in your head first. Once it's in there, it comes out on your fingers a little easier. All right, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk just a little bit about playing with feeling and playing with emotion. Thumbs up or hands raised if anyone was able to watch those videos that I had put in the, yeah, okay, some thumbs up there. So there were three, in the agenda, there were links to 3 different YouTube videos that I think really emphasized people playing with emotion. The first is a link to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, the first movement. That's the dun 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 dun. I'm sure you've all heard part of that at one point or another. And it people discuss that as pretty much what you would feel when fate comes knocking at your door, or many people call it death. That's the dun 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 dun. It's banging on the door, right? Like, let me in, I'm coming to get you. And if you listen to that whole first movement, there's the whole gamut of emotions that you can imagine one might feel, like fear, anxiety, oh my God, I got so much to do. Let me go fix this stuff, and run around and do that kind of stuff. And you can actually see it when they focus on the conductor in that video. He's just like all over the place, and it's really kind of fun to watch. So that's one good example, I think. The other example it may look a little weird. It was from a Conan O'Brien show, and it was a band called Disturbed. And I'm not a big fan of the band Disturbed, but I am pretty partial to their rendition of Sound of Silence. This was one of my favorite songs growing up, and I would never believe anyone could do a better job of it than Simon and Garfunkel. But wow, that guy nailed it. I don't know if you guys, if anyone saw that video, agrees with me, but he really expressed that whole feeling of anger and emotion of when you oh yeah, they were awesome, thanks. Yeah. That he really expressed that whole feeling of anger and emotion of when you're trying to communicate and people just either won't communicate with you or can't communicate or whatever. It's both, you get angry, you get frustrated, and he really expressed that really well, I think. And then again, to sort of balance out those darker moods, I threw in a link to Alison Krauss singing one of the tunes that we'll play in a little bit called Slumber, My Darling. It's a Stephen Foster's lullaby. And she's singing it with Yo-Yo Ma playing the cello, and a couple of other really famous people playing. And it's just a sense of calm. As she sings it, you just feel more and more calm and rested and protected. And it's like, wow, that's amazing that somebody can express all of that in a song, right? So I want to try and demonstrate a little bit of playing a simple song, Liza Jane, with these different emotions. Now, let me point out to begin with, if you're playing in a group with other people, like if you're in a club, or you have friends that you play with, you can't really do this. You can demonstrate it to them, and you can agree, like if you're playing with 3 or 4 or 10 other people and you all want to agree, okay, we're going to play Liza Jane Mad, okay, that's fine. But if you're the one person in the group playing the song mad and everybody else is playing it normal. It's going to sound really weird, right? So first off, just bear in mind that this is great to practice on your own. It's great to practice in a group, but you gotta let the other people know that you want to play it that way, right? Other things about this, it's helpful to have memorized the tune, and I can't really emphasize that enough, in the sense that, I mean, you saw the guy in Disturbed. He's not reading off of sheet music, right? He's got it memorized. He knows what every word is going to be. He's done it backwards and forwards and upwards and downwards. And, you know, even in the case where the orchestra, it looks like they're playing off of music, believe me when I tell you that the vast majority of that movement has been completely memorized by every player in that orchestra. Certainly any of the tricky transitions, anything that's difficult, has been completely memorized, because it's hard to read music and feel emotion at the same time, right? That's where it gets like this, you know. So if you're trying to figure out how the music goes and reading the music, and then, you know, you're worried about, you know, all that other stuff, it's pretty hard to do. So memorizing a tune is a good idea. It's generally good, you know, it's just generally, for some of these simpler tunes, it's a good idea to memorize them anyway, because they'll come up in a jam and you're like, oh, I know that tune and I can just play it and I don't have to fumble through my music sheets to find it. So that's the other, you know, other good reason to learn to play. All right, I'm going to switch my camera view. Woohoo, yay. Okay. So Liza Jane, I do have the song memorized. So my problem is, if I look at the music while I have a tune memorized, it can throw me off. So bear that in mind. And that's the other tricky part. If you have the song half memorized, I suggest, you know, like just buckle up and read the music for now. But it's a pretty short tune. I'll play it through once, kind of straight, so that you can hear the tune. Okay. If you want to play with me, I'll count in. It says C for common time, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll come in. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how the song goes. Sorry about the phone thing ringing. That's annoying. We're going to turn that off. Should have turned it off before. Okay. So that's about how the song goes. Now usually it's played a little faster in jams. And you can hear, when I speed it up and play it like that, it even sounds a little happier. You know, we're already getting into some emotion there, right? Right? It sounds a little more upbeat, and yay, we're here. But let me try and play this like I'm really mad at Liza Jane. Like I'm really upset with this person for some reason. All right? I'm going to play it through once. Really mad. How did that sound to people? Same song. Michelle's got yeah. How did that sound? Did that sound less pleasant for people to hear that way? Like it was angry? Can anyone say what I might have done to make it sound angry?
You stroke the strings harder and faster.
That's one way. Yep, absolutely. That's a big way. Anyone else?
Were you stopping hard on some of the
Yes.
single notes, like
yes.
that? I don't know what
Yep.
the term is.
Yep. That's absolutely another thing I was doing that was different than the first time.
Is that like an emphasis on every other beat?
Like,
ba, 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 ba.
I wasn't trying to emphasize a beat, but I may have been. Mostly what I was trying to do was just hit the strings a lot harder. But the other thing that I was doing was, in my head, I was thinking about something that made me angry. Okay? So first you have to get your head into that angry place in some ways, and then you can start playing that out in your instrument. A lot of people have said that the dulcimer is a quiet instrument and they can't vary the volume very much on it. And I don't find that to be true. I believe you can vary the volume a lot just by how hard you're striking the strings. All right, let me play it again another time, and we'll see what that sounds like in terms of what emotion I'm trying to express. I don't know where this is going to go, but let me see if we can do it one more time. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, how did that sound to people? What emotion do you think I was going with there?
I thought it sounded very sad.
Ah, sad. That's yep, that was very sad. Anyone get anything else? Sleepy. Michelle got sleepy.
Solemn and peaceful.
Okay, all right, good, all right, yeah. So again, different set of emotions totally from the anger version. There are ways you can play this where it's like tentative, like asking a question. Does Liza Jane really want to be with me? You can extend out, for example, that kind of transition, right? And make it more sound inquisitive, like, is she going to like me? Is it going to be with me? So those are all kinds of things you can do with this that change very much the emotionality of the song that you're playing. Does that make sense to people? Okay. It starts with knowing the tune inside and out, like memorize it as much as you can. And then it starts with really understanding those transitions. So like when I was saying just before, the notes on the musical notes are not necessarily ones that you have to adhere to completely straight when you're playing emotionally by yourself. It is important to play them straight when you're playing with a group of other people, because otherwise you knock people off the timing. But you can do things like you can adjust the timing enough to put in that more inquisitive thing into the music. Questions about this? Anyone have any suggestions or thoughts? I'm not hearing any. All right, so it's about 10 of, and we've got a bunch more songs to play. Shall we move on and play more songs, or do we want to talk about this some more?
Can we just try to play this together a couple of times as a normal pace, like
Sure.
a typical feel?
Sure.
I mean, not too fast.
Not too fast. Okay, great. No worries. And music on the screen or not? On the screen. Okay. All right. Let's go to that and do that with the screen share. Start that. All right. Yes, you can do it. All right. Come on. Thank you. All right. And we got to get rid of me. All right.
Are you going to show your dulcimer?
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more. Perfect. All right. So again, this is what's referred to as 4/4 time or common time, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Come in on the next. There's no repeats. We play it straight through. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, how's that sound? Okay, so let's move on, shall we? This is a song Around Her Neck. She wore a yellow ribbon. I heard it first in a John Wayne movie. Thought it was a nice tune, so I wanted to practice it. Again, excuse me, I wanted to arrange it for the dulcimer. Again, if you only want to play the melody line, that's fine. That's the lowest line of numbers. So it's 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right. So if you're only playing the melody, that's the lowest line. And also, just to let you know, I have a foot pedal that will move the music. Theoretically, this is a 2-pager. So when we get to the second page, you'll see it flip like that. So be prepared for the music flip, as it were. Okay. This is in 4/4 time. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, and then we'll come in. 1, 2, 3. So that's approximately how it goes. I kind of messed up in the middle. There, again, there's a tricky transition in here. This is towards the end of the second line of music on the second page. If you play that whole line, you're at 2. You have this open for 2 beats, and then you immediately have to go way up to 7 where you haven't been before in this tune before. So this is a situation where you just have to realize that it's coming and be ready for it. So that's just one of those things where it's a good idea to look and at the music beforehand and say, oh yeah, I got this big jump here, and be ready for it. Shall we play it again? Thumbs up if you want to play it again, or thumbs down. I'm not seeing any thumbs, so shall we play it again?
Yes.
Okay. Same speed? Good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Thank you. You guys are great at keeping your microphones muted. That's wonderful. It's so helpful. All right. So I'm going to count to 3, and then we'll come in. 1, 2, 3. Sounds good? So the next tune is a little more complicated, but it's a lot of fun, and it's called Rosin the Beau, and it's very popular in dulcimer circles, and it's a different timing. So this is in 6/8 timing, which is, it's pretty difficult to actually count in, and I'm not even going to pretend to try and count in for it. I'm sure someone better than me can do that. But yeah, this particular tune has, if you look at it, so like the second measure, there's a 2 and a 1. It's 0, 0, 0, 2, 1, 0, and there's a little PO between the 2 and the 1. That's for a pull, that stands for a pull off. And then there are also HOs that stand for hammer-ons, and then there are slides. And this is a great tune because it has all those extra stuff in it, and it's fun to play. But if you are, again, just beginning and not familiar with pulls and hammers and slides, just ignore all of that and just play the melody as you see it with the numbers there. I'll play it through a couple of times, and then I'll turn off the share so you can see me attempt to do all of that stuff one time. All right, so for this tune, I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, and then we'll come in and the pickup note. This is a single page. There's no repeats, so we just play it straight through. And I may throw in a pull off or a hammer on. You probably I probably won't do them all. But anyway, you'll see that in a minute. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Fun tune. Let me turn off the share for those of you that want to see the dulcimer. Okay, go there, turn off. Yay. Okay. Okay. And we're going to get rid of that. So I'm going to play this again. And I will try to throw in some pull-off. So a pull-off is essentially like the on this first, the second measure, where it's 0. You actually plant a finger on 2 and 1 at the same time. And then you strum the 2, but instead of strumming the 1, you just pull off your finger on 2. Right? It makes a different sound. That's a pull off. Kind of sounds like a pluck. If I strummed both, it would sound like more like strumming. Make sense to people? So hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides all give the dulcimer it's one of its more characteristic sounds, and they're great to learn how to play and great to practice. So I'm gonna try and throw some of those in this time with you seeing my dulcimer to see how that goes. And again, I'll count to 3 and we'll come in. 1, 2, 3. So could you hear the difference between when I was actually strumming and then the hammers, ahs, and pull-offs? Thumbs up if you could. All right, cool. Yeah. So a lot of times people throw those in. It's frequently thrown in to speed up the tune. Honestly, that's a lot of times when people throw these in. So, but you can play an entire song. Like I could play Liza Jane just with hammer on and pulls off. So this is Liza Jane, at least the first part of it, with just hammers and pulls. I'm not going to use my strumming hand at all. Right? So you can actually play a whole song that way without strumming. And it has a different sound. All right, moving along. It is almost 10 after 6. So this is the Slumber, My Darling that I was talking about earlier, that we hear Alison Krauss sing so beautifully. This is a 2-pager. So let me get the screen share back up again for that. And there we go. So a couple of years ago, I heard this song. It was around Mother's Day. I heard Alison Krauss singing it, and I was really impressed with this tune and decided I needed to arrange it. So that's where this came from. Again, it's got a lot of chords in it. If you just want to play the melody string, just beginning to learn the tune, that's perfectly fine too. No worries. In fact, when I'm beginning to learn a song, and pretty much anyone I know who plays any instrument, when I'm trying to learn the song, I'm only going to play the melody for the first several times through the song, because I have to get that stuck in my head before I can really, add in the chords. All right, so this again has 2 pages, so watch that. There's that switch that'll come when I get to the end of the first page. There are no repeats. This is in waltz time, 3/4 time. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and we'll come in. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, sorry. That's that last note. The beginning of the last line. Beginning of the second page. How did that go for people?
Maybe a bit much.
I think someone is maybe not muted. Just hurting. Okay. So in the interest of time, I'm going to move on. Just bear in mind that you can do some really pretty things with this song. So like, again, just starting at the beginning of the second line, instead of strumming everything, you can have some pretty arpeggios. Right? So, practice that. Arpeggios just means you hit each individual note of the chord separately. So yeah, that's some fun stuff to throw in when you're feeling up to it. All right. When Irish Eyes Are Smiling is the next tune on the list. This is a good example of a tune that has it gets harder towards the end of the tune, right? So if you look at the last line of the tune, there's some really pretty tricky parts in there. And what I have said about this in the past is that it's a good place, it's a good way of practicing this transition, practicing the tune in reverse. So if you start at the very end of the song with the open 5/7, that's what you're going to land on. That's the end of the song. But if you want to get good at this last line, my suggestion is to then work backwards from there. So now it's 6.5, 6, 8, 7, right? Right, and when you're good with that transition, right, you take on the measure just before it. So now I'm going to go back a measure, 5, 4, 5. And those last two measures may be a little easier because I've practiced them quite a bit. And then once I'm good with those three measures, I throw in the measure before. So again, these are difficult or tricky transitions, and when you're in those places, it's a good idea to practice just those transitions for a while. And in this case, with this song, you can actually practice it backwards the whole way until you're feeling comfortable with it. And you end up playing the end that's trickier many more times than you play the beginning, which is less hard. Does that make sense to people? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Have people heard that before? That practice backwards, that thing? Yeah, a couple of people have. No, somebody shaking their head vehemently no. Some people have heard it before. It really depends on the song. In terms of when it's a good idea to practice it backwards and when it's a good idea to just practice it straightforward. Remember, practice is not playing. Practice is your time to really focus on the parts that are hard and make them easier for you to play. And it's an important thing to realize, that when in your precious practice time, you do want to spend some time playing songs that you know really well, just because it's fun and you're playing along. But then it's also a good idea to have a goal to say, okay, I'm going to really learn how to play the end of this song. That's hard for me to play. I'm going to practice it a lot, and I'm going to practice it different ways to see if I can make it easier for me to play. And I promise, if you do that, enough, with some repetition, it will get easier to play over time. I can't tell you the number of tunes that when I first played them, I'm like, I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to be able to play it. And then I just spent a little bit of time, over several practice sessions, and it got a little bit easier, and it got a little bit easier. And then finally it was like, why did I ever think this was hard? It's so easy. All right. So we're going to play When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. We're going to play it really slow. If you want to just play the melody, just bear in mind that it sometimes, like on that last line, the melody is up on the middle string. So you have to kind of watch for that going up on the middle string a little bit. Again, it's waltz time, so I'm going to count 1, 2, and we'll come in on 3. 1, 2. Here you go. Messed it up a little bit at the end, even practicing it a lot. But it's okay. It's a great tune to learn. How does that feel, people? Do you want me to play that again, or shall we move on? Move on. I think I see. Okay, move on. Okay. The last tune we have tonight is Simple Gifts. I like to end with a song that's, pretty popular. It's, you probably know the melody to this song. This particular tab I got from Rob Brereton at the Dulcimer Days festival in southern Vermont many years ago. You can see the date on there is 2010. This was a workshop on adding our own chords. So any of the hand printing that you see in here is my handwriting. And you can completely ignore it. It's just one way to play the chords. And you can play the chords a whole bunch of different ways. So you can ignore that if you want. And again, this is straight through. There are no repeats. It is common time. So 4 beats a measure. Quarter note has 1 beat. There is this initial pickup measure, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then we come in with the 2 open on the middle string. Most of the melody on this is on the melody string, the lower line, but there are a couple of places where it goes up to the middle string. And the first couple of notes is an example of that. All right. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I'm sorry. Sorry, again, thinking about one thing, trying to do another, never works. Let me try again. Focus. 1, 2, 3. simple gifts. I don't know if people noticed. Let me change my camera, and I'm just gonna turn that screen share off for a second. Yeah, so I don't know if people noticed, but in there, sometimes I was strumming out the whole chord, and sometimes I was just picking out the individual melody note. And that's another technique that you can use. You don't have to strum every single beat. You can emphasize the melody. And I think of, when I think of folk music, I think of melody. The melody rules, is my understanding of any kind of folk music. And that's why sometimes instead of just strumming through the song, I like to emphasize that melody. So one more time, shall we play that? Yes, no, yes? Okay, cool. Some head shakes, some thumbs up. All right. This time I'll play it with just my dulcimer showing and not the music on the screen share. So that you can see some of those chord transitions. And again, when I play this song, as I say, I don't just strum across the whole strings. In fact, when the melody is on the middle string, you really don't want to strum across all the strings. You want to emphasize that middle string. If you want to do middle and bass, that's okay, but you definitely want to get that melody on the middle string to stand out. All right, so I'm going to count to 3 and then we come in. 1, 2, 3. Yay! All right, let me turn this over to my other camera. Come on, command to nope. Sorry, let's do this again the manual way. Let's do that. Yay! So yeah, we're almost to the end of our time. Just, feel free to unmute and just ask questions, say something about how it went for you guys. Feel good?
Went great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Hi, this is Peggy. This is probably the first time I've ever been able to play anything and actually stay with you while you're playing, because we're not jamming, we're learning and we're taking it piece by piece. So
Oh,
thank you.
Great. That's good to know. That's really nice to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
I
like,
like the format. I like the format. You did it very well. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
I like how, I think following what Peggy was saying, if we play it really slow, even 2 or 3 times really slow, that really helps. Cause the first time I'm getting my bearings, and then the second time it's familiar, and the third time I've got a few things down. So that's really nice. And it's fun to go a little faster sometimes, but it's also really nice to do it slow a couple of times. So thanks.
No, no worries. And please know that it's kind of a weird thing with music that if you play this tune really slowly, like as slow as you can possibly imagine, even slower than you need to, that helps reinforce the tune in your head because it's about the timing between notes that your brain recognizes. So even if you're playing the song really, really slowly, your brain is still recognizing the timing in between the notes. And so as you speed it up, it's easier to speed up as you go along because your brain understands, oh, I'm playing it faster, so now I got to do this. So it's a trick of music and a lot of other stuff that if you practice it really slowly, it translates really well to moving up faster.
Very hard to play slowly, something you're accustomed to playing fast.
You got it. Oh, you absolutely, yes. And a lot of the times I was struggling in this, when I'm playing the songs for you very slowly is because I'm so accustomed to playing them so fast, so much faster. So, please, yes, I completely understand that challenge, and that's why I try to, for these sessions, I try to have songs that people know really well, but also other songs that they might not have seen before, and to try and just keep it fresh. Yeah, thank you, Tina. Thank you, everything. Any questions? Any challenges? No. All right, so we're just about at 6:30. If you guys, please be in touch. You all have my email if you have questions after the fact. What I'll do is the video takes a little time to convert. Once it's converted down, then I'll make it available and send you out a link for that. So that you can download it and see it over as many times as you want. Sound good?
Yep.
This was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's great
You're
to
welcome.
get playing again after losing all my dulcimers.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Uh,
All right, we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next
Bye.
month.
Yes, see you next month. Thank you.